As a manager within a school, one of your responsibilities is to find resources which you feel are going to be up to date, interesting, fun, but obviously resources where people learn.
I really love Linguascope because it is a fun way of learning a language, and it just motivates students in a way that sometimes the textbook doesn't.
Our students really enjoy the games and they always want to play them in lessons, and if you've played them one lesson, then the next time you see them they'll be like, oh, can we play hangman again, or can we play noughts and crosses again? So they really enjoy it. They like the competitive elements of games, so the ones on Linguascope are really useful because they're already there for you.
I was first introduced to Linguascope at a previous school, and I thought it was a great resource for the end of lessons especially, and sometimes for a starter to check for understanding if the students have understood what you've done the previous lesson. So I was really keen to bring Linguascope to Newhall, and my colleagues I think have been very impressed with what they've seen for this trial period.
Linguascope is a very useful tool to use with mixed ability classes because there are activities that are more challenging that will stretch the higher end ability of a class, but there are other activities which are accessible to the students who perhaps find languages a bit more difficult to learn.
I think it is a very engaging website. It's very colourful, but it's not done in a patronising way, so I think even 15, 16-year-olds can go on Linguascope and do find it interesting.
I also like using Linguascope because there are different levels to it, and I tend to use the beginners level with the younger children, or for revising key words in a particular topic.
I think it just offers a really wide variety of topic areas. So if you're doing a particular topic, there's usually always something on Linguascope that matches what you're doing, so that's really helpful.
Another excellent use which we have all made of Linguascope is to print off some of the worksheets and use those for homework purposes. Very often they fit very neatly into our schemes of work, and again it's saved a lot of teacher time.
I think it's really good value for money because not only do you have the website, but you have the option to use worksheets that you can have. You can make your own worksheets and build your own things from there, so it's really good value for money.
We found that it really is very reasonably priced, and I suppose that's one of the reasons why we've decided to buy it for our feeder schools as well.
The children's reaction was absolutely fantastic. They really got involved with it. They learnt their months of the year, colours, animals straight away. It was fascinating watching them. I was really surprised. They know their way around it more than I do. And yeah, I thought it was great. They really responded well to it. They found it really easy to find everything, the games. They responded really well when the person was talking back to them and saying bravo. I thought that was excellent.
One of the other really useful aspects of Linguascope is the fact that it is constantly being revised and updated.
Linguascope started as a school website where I developed some activities in French for my students. And I started receiving quite a lot of feedback and email from them, asking me to develop other topics and then gradually other languages, so that's how the whole thing started.
I also find that Linguascope is quite a motivational tool for pupils of all ages. In the computer room lessons, they do tend to come in and immediately say, can we use Linguascope today?
I like on the Linguascope website that they have a resource for teachers where you can access other people's, normally a PowerPoint presentation, resources that teachers have made on all sorts of different topics.
Linguascope has a really useful image bank with lots of lovely pictures that you can use to put into your worksheets or your PowerPoints, so that's really useful as well.
Another excellent aspect of Linguascope is the games creator, where we can customise the games and activities with our own list of nouns that we find would be the most applicable to our students.
I think it's just a really flexible website, Linguascope, because not only can you use it as a front of class tool, but it's really good for group work, independent work. Students can use it for homework outside of school as well, so it's just really good for that.
Linguascope is excellent for students to complete homework tasks online, and it's really good because they can print out their scores, which they can then bring into us in order to track their progress.
Linguascope does offer another opportunity, not just to teach languages such as French, German and Spanish, but we have a student who's 11, he's Polish and came into the school with very little English, and Linguascope provided an excellent opportunity for him to actually build up his English vocabulary.
I would also use it to teach them alongside months of the year, teaching them in a different language as well, because I think for our EAL students, our English as an additional language students, they would find that more comforting. They had it in different languages as well.
We're very fortunate really now that there are a lot of ICT products around for languages, and often people will say to me, well, which ones do you recommend? And I have to say, really, I really would go for Linguascope, and you're absolutely sure of having the fundamentals, the essentials that you need for all of the ages and all of the languages.
There are lots of things that you can get, such as things that help with their learning, like verb wheels and talking dice, games, as well as things that you can then use for rewards and incentives, such as pens, pencils, rubbers, and some sunglasses, which are really great.